All right. Do you ever get those moments that make you just like stop and go, whoa, what are the chances? I
Yeah.
mean, when it feels like the universe is trying to send you a message, that's what we're diving into today. Synchronicity. It's going to be a wild ride.
What's really interesting is that we're actually using your source material on Carl Jung for this deep dive, the guy who pretty much put synchronicity on the map.
Exactly. This YouTube video you sent, Carl Jung's Synchronicity, Meaningful Patterns in Life.
Dope.
Feels like destiny.
It's like the universe knew what we were going to talk about.
Okay, so before we get too out there, let's start with Jung himself. This video talks about how some of his early experiences, like, really shaped his thinking. What were those about?
Well, even as a kid, Jung had these incredibly vivid visions, almost like he could see the future. He talks about one where he saw yellow waves, rubble everywhere, and this overwhelming sense of death.
No way. And this was, wait, right before World War I. Okay, that's giving me goosebumps just hearing about it.
Right, imagine how freaky that must have been for him. It's no wonder he thought he was losing it at first.
Oh, totally. I mean, I'd probably be questioning my sanity, too, if I saw something like that. But here's the thing. Jung didn't shy away from those experiences. He, like, dove headfirst into the deep end.
Yeah, instead of fearing those experiences, he was drawn to them. And that search led him down some pretty fascinating paths, let me tell you. Unconscious mind, parapsychology, even alchemy.
Wow. Okay, so instead of just labeling it all as supernatural, he wanted to understand it.
Yeah, he was looking for that framework, that language, to make sense of these seemingly impossible events, and that search is what led him to synchronicity.
Which, by the way, the story of the golden scare beetle, that one really got me.
Oh, it's a perfect example of synchronicity in action. So, picture this young is with a patient, a woman with a very, rigid scientific mind, right? She's telling him about a dream where a golden scarab beetle appears.
Okay.
And as she's talking, a real live golden scarab beetle flies into his office window.
Get out. Seriously, you can't make this stuff up.
It was like the universe was putting on a show.
Right.
Right? And for that patient, it was a huge turning point. It was like, for the first time, she allowed herself to consider, wait, maybe there's more to reality than what meets the eye.
Okay, that's wild. It's like the universe said, all right, fine, I'll make it obvious.
Hmm.
But how does this connect to, us, our own minds?
Well, this is where Jung's idea of archetypes comes into play.
Archetypes. Okay, break that down for me.
Basically, he believed that we're all influenced by these universal primal patterns, he called them archetypes, these blueprints for human experiences residing in something he called the collective unconscious.
Collective unconscious, for those of us who don't speak psychoanalysis.
Okay, imagine this giant shared pool of experiences and symbols and stories that all humans tap into. Ever notice how certain stories just seem to pop up across different cultures and throughout history? The hero's journey, for example.
Wait,
That's an archetype at play.
wait, so these archetypes, they're like these unseen forces that shape our thoughts and maybe even the things that happen to us.
Kind of. Take falling in love at first sight. That crazy instant connection. Jung might say, that's an archetype working its magic. Maybe that's why we're drawn to certain types of people, even if it doesn't always work out.
Okay. This is all starting to click. Synchronicities, archetypes, this idea that there's more to life than we realize.
And that's where Jung's concept of the unus mundus comes in, the one world.
Okay, I'm going to need you to unpack that one for me. Unus mundus.
Think of reality like a giant tapestry, right? We
Wow.
see the individual threads, the colors, the patterns, but underneath, it's all interwoven, interconnected to make this single, unified whole. That's the unus mundus.
So even the smallest encounter could have a deeper meaning because ultimately we're all connected.
Exactly. There's this beautiful story in the video. Jung describes swaying in a wheat field with this woman who suddenly feels this divine presence, like she's being cradled by God.
I remember that part. So powerful. But how does that tie into the unus mundus?
Well, it shows how these unconscious patterns, those archetypes, can just emerge and shape our experiences in even the most ordinary moments. It suggests there's this deeper layer of reality where everything's connected.
It's like we're all part of this grand play, and these ancient forces are directing the whole thing. My mind is officially blown. But okay, let's bring this back down to earth for a minute. If everything is truly connected, if these synchronicities are more than just random, what's that mean for us? Practically, how do we make sense of it all?
Right. It's the big question, isn't it? Luckily, that video you sent actually offers some clues on how to spot these synchronicities, how to recognize them in our own lives. It even breaks down different types of synchronicities, each with their own, purpose or message.
Okay, yes. Let's talk types, because I'm starting to think maybe I've missed a few cosmic memos along the way.
Yeah.
What should we be looking out for?
All right, so picture this. You're about to make a big decision, and suddenly everything seems to be going wrong. Missed your train, spilled coffee, stuck in traffic. It's like, come on.
The universe is messing with you.
Exactly. But actually, that could be a warning synchronicity, according to the video, like a little red flag from the universe.
Like, hey, hold up a second. You might want to rethink this one.
Exactly. It could be a sign to slow down, look at things from a new angle, trust your gut.
Totally. Like when you get that weird feeling about something, but you can't quite place it, maybe that's our intuition trying to tell us something.
Right. Our intuition's always talking to us, often through these seemingly random events. We just got to learn to listen.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about the flip side? When things are going right, when everything's just clicking, are there synchronicities for that too?
Oh, absolutely. Those are confirmation synchronicities, little winks from the universe. You meet the right person at the perfect time, a door opens you never even saw before, feels like magic, right?
It's like the universe is saying, you're on the right track, keep going. I guess that's a good reason to keep a gratitude journal, huh?
100%. Journaling is actually super powerful for noticing these synchronicities, really reflecting on them. In fact, the video specifically mentions it as like a key practice for anyone who's interested in this stuff.
Noted. Adding buy a gratitude journal to my to-do list right now.
Hmm.
But okay, what about when you're feeling lost? Like stuck in a rut, don't know which way to turn? Any
Right.
cosmic guidance for those times?
Oh, totally. Those are prime times for what they call prophetic synchronicities in the video, like little messages guiding you, revealing a new path.
Like the universe is nudging you out of your comfort zone, trying to shake things up a bit.
Yeah, exactly. It could be stumbling upon a book at the perfect moment, a chance encounter that sparks something new, or even a recurring dream that just won't quit. The point is, be open to those unexpected opportunities. Trust that something bigger might be at play.
It's like the universe is always conspiring to point us in the right direction,
Yeah.
even if we don't get it at the time. This is all so wild. But how do you separate the meaningful coincidences from the just plain coincidences?
That's where discernment comes in, right? The video really emphasizes tuning into your intuition, that inner voice that guides you toward what really resonates with you, with your purpose.
So it all comes back to trusting your gut. But how do you even strengthen that intuition muscle?
It's different for everyone, but some things that might help are meditation, journaling, being out in nature, anything that helps you quiet the noise and listen to that inner wisdom.
Okay, I'm going to work on that. So we've covered warning, confirmation, prophetic, any other types of synchronicities we need to have on our radar.
Yeah, there are a couple more. There's this idea of manifestation synchronicities. Ever notice how when you're really focused on something you want, it's like the universe conspires to make it happen?
Oh, right. So that's where the whole law of attraction thing comes in.
Yeah.
I got to admit, that one always seemed a little, I don't know, too good to be true. But hey, I'm open to it.
It's not as out there as it sounds. It's like this, if everything is truly connected, then our thoughts, our beliefs, they have this energy, right? And that energy interacts with the world around us.
So you're saying, like, if you're constantly thinking negative thoughts, you're more likely to attract negative experiences.
Exactly. But if you shift that focus, if you start concentrating on what you want, on the positive, you become a magnet for those experiences.
Hmm. So we're sending out these energetic signals, and the universe is picking up what we're putting down.
Okay. Yeah, I can get on board with that.
It all ties into that idea of as above, so below. Right. And speaking of which, you mentioned earlier about how this whole interconnectedness thing reminded you of other traditions. Well, the video talks about the Hermetic principles, which are ancient Egyptian, and guess what? They explore a lot of the same themes as Jung's work. Right. The Hermetic principles, I've definitely heard of them, but I'd be lying if I said I knew much about them. How do they relate to synchronicity?
So, one of the main Hermetic principles is called correspondence, and it's often summed up as above, so below, which basically means there's this mirror reflection between our inner world and the outer world.
Okay, I think I'm following.
So, what's happening inside of us is mirrored in our external reality, which totally lines up with Jung's idea that synchronicities aren't just random, they reflect our inner state.
So if you're always stressed out, feeling chaotic on the inside, you're more likely to see chaos in your outer life too. And if you're feeling calm and peaceful, the world around you reflects that back.
Exactly. It's pretty powerful when you think about it. Like, we have more influence over our reality than we realize.
That is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Any other Hermetic principles that vibe with this synchronicity thing?
Rhythm is another big one. It reminds us that everything moves in cycles, you know? There are natural rhythms of creation and destruction, of things expanding and contracting. The key is to flow with those rhythms, not fight against them.
Ride the wave. I like it. What else?
Polarity is an interesting one, too. Basically, it says that everything has its opposite, but those opposites are actually two sides of the same coin, like light and dark, yin and yang, masculine and feminine. And Jung believed that learning to embrace those opposite forces within ourselves, well, that was key to, like, true inner wholeness.
So making friends with our shadow selves, huh? Sounds like it could get messy.
It definitely takes work, no doubt. But that integration, embracing those opposites, it can spark so much creativity, you know? And it leads to a deeper understanding of ourselves, of the world. It's a journey.
This has been mind-blowing. It really makes you appreciate just how connected everything is, you know?
It really does. And if Jung was right, it means the universe is way more complex and mysterious than we often give it credit for. Maybe by paying attention to these synchronicities, by staying curious, we can start to unlock some of those mysteries, you know?
It's like the universe is sending us messages all the time. We just have to be open to hearing them. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling inspired to start paying closer attention to those little winks from the universe.
Me too. It's amazing what we discover when we do.
And that's a wrap on another deep dive. Huge thanks to our incredible expert for taking us on this journey through Carl Jung, synchronicities, and this wild, interconnected web we call reality. Until next time, keep your eyes peeled for those meaningful coincidences. You never know what the universe might be trying to tell you.